Hello everyone, and welcome to my corner of the world, November the 5th, and today in my home country it's kind of a bit of a special day, in as much as it's what we call Guy Fawkes night or bonfire night, where I guess I can use the word celebrate, but anyway, it's when we in the UK set off fireworks, and that's like November the 5th. So I could have done something with fireworks, I suppose. I just didn't think about that, but I did think about Christmas, and today I thought we would make a super gorgeous, luscious, luxury Christmas card, and it's inspired by this paper here, and it's called Shining Brightly, and it has beautiful paper. It's oh, what do I want to say? Not gilded, but anyway, it comes in gold and vanilla, and gold with Night of Navy, and you can see this is all I've got left of the Night and Navy. I've really I really enjoyed that. I made some cards using that. I've got one here, and you can see it's a fun fold, so it kind of features that paper there. So I've got, as you can see, I've got 3 sheets of this paper left, and so I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna find a good use for it. And the lovely thing about this paper is it's single-sided, so you don't have to worry about choosing which side you're going to show and which side you're going to cover up. Okay, so I can see that there's some folks that have joined me. Perhaps you would, in that right hand column, it says live chat. Perhaps you just let me know where you're joining me from today. I really appreciate you coming on board. And then once I'd made my mind up that we were going to use this paper, I went through my stash and pulled everything out that I could find that was kind of gold. And so there's this gold and silver adhesive paper pack. So this has got a sheet of silver and a sheet of gold, and I've used the silver on a different another card, so a nice lovely shiny panel there. So that's another one that I've done. So that was pulled out as well. And then I pulled out some ribbons. So this is actually vanilla and gold together. So, and then this one is vanilla and gold. It's got a very, very fine vanilla middle. I don't know if you can just see that. And then it's solid gold on the back. And it comes in a pack with silver, but you know, we're going to focus on that gold. I also pulled out some embellishments. Now, I don't know if we're going to use all of these, but you know, I've pulled some stuff out to play with. And so there's these ones which are sparkle gems, and they've got some nice gold ones in. There's some adhesive back sequins with gold. And then there's these adhesive back star trinkets, again, with gold. So that gives me plenty of choices. And then I'm going to feature this stamp set with the coordinating dies here. And so again, you probably know that I do love a stamp set with images and words. And if the words have got in a lovely font, to me, that's my stamp set straight away. So that's that's what I'm going to be using. And then there's a set of coordinating dies, and oops, there we go. So the dies have got lots of lovely oh well, fancy pieces, I suppose that you could call them. So this is a great die. Now I've got a card to share with that one. So this is what it looks like when it's been cut out, and I've done it in gold foil. And then there's this piece which cut out the middle here, and then these I cut out some leaves, and then there's a nice holly leaf as well in here that I used to cut that out. So that is showing you that die. Now I haven't used the other die, big die in this set, and that is this one. So I'm thinking I'm going to use this one when we get to it. And then I've got this. Now, is there a, I don't think there's a stamp for this one because it's got like the veins already in there. So I'm thinking that maybe I could use that somehow. Okay, so, all right, let's see who is out there today. Oh, you're shy. Nobody said anything in that chat column. Nobody said anything in that chat column just yet. Well, maybe you will, but you're a bit shy at the minute. All right, so my first decision was an easy one in using the vanilla cardstock, and this is the thick one here. So I need to decide if I'm going to make like a big card, like what's the big card? Half of this, so that would be like 5.5 by 8.5, which wouldn't go in a regular envelope, so we might have to trim that down to 7, because 7 by 5 I think is the largest that you can post on a regular stamp here in the US, and I'm not a big one for paying extra postage. So that's my first decision, is whether I should make a full-size card. And maybe this is going to be a help, because if I make a full-size card, or should I make a half-size card? So if I think about the half, anybody got any suggestions? Oh, hey Betty, I'm glad you like the products. Lots of sparkle, you know me. I can't resist sparkle. All right, I think we're gonna go and do a big card. A big card. So let's do this. So that's 11. So if I score at 5.5, like that. And so 5.5, I think 7 is the biggest that let's see what 7 looks like. I think 7 by 5.5 is the largest we can put through the mail here without paying extra. Right, so let's cut that down to 7. The Scottish blood in my veins will not allow me to pay a penny extra for my postage than I have to. And if that's not the right size, well then, hey, we just have to live with the consequences. Right, so if I use an extra if I use a piece of this paper, right, now then, I'm looking at making sure it doesn't look too overcrowded here. So let's look at which paper we should use. So this one would be my first choice, because I just love all that beautiful pattern like that. So that would be one. The next one would be like these little stars, which would probably flash out a bit more. And then this one here. Now this has got leaves, and I figure if I'm going to use holly leaves, it might clash a bit. So I know I don't want to use this one. Anybody got any thoughts on whether we should use this one or this one? It takes a few moments for it to come through. Right, now this glimmer paper actually has adhesive already on the back. It comes like that. I'll show you how it is. I'm just going to scuff up the edge a bit just to loosen the edging. There we go. Can you see it's actually got adhesive on the back? So it's fantastic for these fine detailed dies, because it means I don't get adhesive all over me and all over the place when I come to stick it down. And the silver version is exactly the same. You like the stars, Betty? Okay, I'm going to go with the stars then. We'll go with the stars. So we're going to need a piece, and I'm going to have like an 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So I'm going to cut this 1/4 of an inch smaller. So I'm going to need 5 1/4 by 6 3/4. Okay. 5 1/4 by 6 3/4. So if I do 5 1/4 5 1/4 by 6 3/4. So I just have to open this up a little bit. 6 3/4. So that will go like that, which is that's quite subtle. I like that. Now, I'm thinking I might, instead of using my usual liquid adhesive, I'm going to go and use some Stampin' Seal. And that's because sometimes the liquid adhesive, the liquid actually can sort of leave a mark on the front of the paper when it's not ever so detailed. So I obviously don't want that. So I'm just going to go ahead with the regular seal. Just need to flip that forward a tiny bit. There we go. Oh, that is sticky. Right, so there's my starting point. Now, I don't think this paper has a direction, so I don't know whether I'm going to do it that way. I wonder if, let's put the die on. See, that might look a weeny bit scrunched, so maybe I could put the die like that. What do you think? I'm thinking I quite like it. So, okay, so if you let me know what your thoughts are, I'll go ahead and start thinking about cutting this out. Now, this is quite thick, so I've got my heart in my mouth a bit about cutting out this with this die, but we are going to give it a go and make sure that it's going to work. So for this one, I've got my number 1 base plate down, and then I've got the number 2. This is called a what do you call it? Oh, my mind's gone blank. But it hasn't got it. This is not a cutting surface. It says quite clearly. So you need to put one of your clear plates, that's a number 3, on there as well. And then we're going to put our piece here. Now, this was an offcut I had in the packet, so it's only just wide enough. So I'm just going to put some of this sticky tape down just to make sure it doesn't move and I lose the tips of my holly leaves here. And oh, there's my, and square everything up. And I'm gonna crank it slowly because I want to give those rollers a chance to cut through that thick paper. So now we're going to have a little look to see what it's like. And I think I've got a really nice cut. I can see everything's been cut through. Oh, well, that worked. I'm really happy about that. That was a good thing to know and to discover along with you guys. All right. So a little wiggle and this should come out. And there's a few little bits left in the die, but they'll come out like that. So that's good. And let's see what we've got here. Ooh, that's all I can say. Ooh, that is beautiful. Ooh, isn't that just stunning? There's a few little bits that just need to come out, but they're all nicely cut and perfect to add to the card. All right, so if this goes here like that, or maybe down, oh maybe, no, I'm going to have to go with the middle. I think I'm just going to have to go with the middle. All right, so that is there. We've got a lot of extra space here. So I'm wondering if we could put some additional pieces around. I've just got my dies. I'm just sorting through just to see what there is. Okay, there's one here. Maybe if I put it over there, I could pull like this. My friend in the UK, Ellie B of Elementary Paper Crafting, she's really good at doing things like this. Right, well, if I've got this piece, that's that piece, and I've got this piece here. Okay, I'm going to run this through. I'm going to use the same setup as I just did, but rather than haul my machine in camera again, let's see if this will work a second time. I think it has. Let's see what we've got here. Okay. Well, maybe I could, I've got a spare piece over here. Maybe I could get another leaf out, because I can't bring myself to waste all of this. This is just too much to and I'm liking the fact that there's like there's sort of like lacy bits. Let's see, get this one out. Right, what do we think so far? Right, okay. Now, before I stick that down, I'm going to make sure that I don't come up with any other ideas. So I'm going to pop that to one side, and I need my greeting. I need to do a greeting, and this die fits exactly inside this die. So let me see. Doesn't look like I've used this one. All these other ones, they're all, you can see that I've used those. Now, these photopolymers, they do get discoloured, but you know, these are clean. They just absorb the red in the ink, so they'll work perfectly. You could use those on yellow and they're not going to discolour. So I would be happy to use those on any other cards that I might make. Alright, so season's greetings. So we need, I'm going to use a scrap of this. This is what I cut off of the card just now. I'm just going to cut that. Again, I'm just going to use the same setup as I cut just now. Here we go. And I've had another little thought as well. I've got this die, this stamp, and there's a coordinating die, and there's this stamp, and there's a die for that, but I'm not sure whether I'm going to use that just yet. Let's see, how can we move this forward? Right. Okay, let's get some of this out of the way so that we've got some room to work. Right, now then, the other thing I pulled out of my stash was gold embossing powder. You can't beat gold embossing powder. Well, you can't beat embossing, full stop. It's one of my favourite techniques. And I did a class earlier this week, and I had a lady who'd come who'd never heat embossed before. And she's like me when I first came across heat embossing. It's just like magic. Right, so there's one piece. The next one I'm going to do is my greeting. Oh, there's something there. Okay, let's see. I assumed that this would fit. It's got to be. Ooh, I think I've missed it. Yeah, I did. Hold on. Let's do. I'm gonna use my embossing buddy to kill that adhesive, that ink. I'm just gonna flip it over. Now, if you've been watching me a while, you'll know that I had some eye surgery earlier this year. And I keep trying to kid myself that my eyesight is back to normal, but truly it's not. It's a lot better than it was, that's for sure, but it's not back to 100%. So I do struggle a little bit. You know, I'm still not happy with that. I'm going to cut another one. Bear with me. When I design my cards, you know, for classes and whatnot, this is the process I go through. I sort of have a little fiddle around and decide what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. And sometimes I have a bit of a snafu, and sometimes it goes right first time. Right, third time's a charm, Cindy. There. I think that's better than all the other attempts. So I'm going to go with it. Okay. And while I'm at it, I've got the inside of my card to think about. And I'm going to use this pretty little holly leaf because I've got holly leaves in the in that cutout that I did earlier. Oops. Let me move this out the way before I have an accident. Note to self. Embossing powder sticks really well to my silicone mat here. Okay, be a bit noisy for a moment. And if you've not seen heat embossing before, you see, look, it's really rather dull and grey looking. And as soon as that heat hits there and starts to melt, you should see, look, it's like magic. It turns all shiny gold. That's that done. Now I'll do this piece. And then this piece. I think I'm off screen here, but I don't want to use this on my mat because it will distort it. There we go. All right. I've got one more cut to do, I think, and it's this one. Let's just clear the decks and pull this through. Right. Right, so I'm just going to line up, get my lovely bits of tape here. You know, after a freezing cold start to this week, we've got lovely weather outside today. It's lovely and sunny and warm. And I think later on I'm going to go out and plant some of my spring flowering bulbs and get a little bit of fresh air in my lungs. There. I think I've got all my pieces together now. So I've got my greeting, I've got this piece here, I've got my card, and I've got my fancy piece, whatever I'm going to call that, and I've got my two other fancy pieces. Right, so now I think I've got to commit myself. Right, now I don't think liquid adhesive is going to work terribly well to stick onto that glimmer paper. So I'm going to use some glue dots because I don't think the stamping seal will do it too well either. I just got this feeling and I don't really want to test to see if it's going to work, only to have it fall apart. So I'm going to go with my instincts. Right. Now, having said that this is actually adhesive on the back, I don't know whether I want to pop it up. I'm kind of feeling it looks a weeny bit flat, but maybe I'm just going to go with it. Okay, so let's take the backing off, and you see, ooh, look how wonderfully easy that is. There's a little bit there, that just is part of the backing. So does that look in the middle? Actually, having looked at this, if it's flat, this is going to be a perfect card to mail overseas as well. All right. Now I've pressed that firmly down, and I probably need to lift it up a tinsy bit for this to go under. Ooh, that's well stuck, but I'm just going to just stick the cut edge, bring that up there, and then I've got this piece, and I think I'm going to bring this over here. So I'm just going to try and lift that up a tiny bit. Oh, it'll come. All right. Now you can see that the little bits aren't all out of there, and I can poke them out, but I'm going to see what comes out when I take the backing off. See how easy it is to pull that up and then just gently. No luck, Cindy. Right, well, we'll just push those gently out, and I'll be able to pop them down. Normally I would try flicking it, but with the adhesive, I don't think it's gonna work. So let's just pop this piece. Oh, there's a tiny little bit there. Oh, a little escapee. Come on. Right. So we're just going to gently ease that underneath that edge. And then just bring it out so it kind of fills a bit more space. So now it's all down to embellishment. Oh, actually, I quite like that. What do you think? I think that's coming on really well. Now, embellishments. So I've got this, which is quite dainty, and I've got this, which is broader, but you can see that it's actually got like a sheerness in there. So let's try. We're going to do a bow. I mean, this has just got so much luxuriousness on it that, you know, let's see if we could go and do, would a bow work? The big bow? Okay, so if anybody's got any suggestions which they like, I can do a big bow or a smaller bow. Like that. So big bow or small bow. So there's the smaller one, and there's the larger one. I know what I would go for. Anybody else? Anybody got any thoughts, suggestions? So small, upside down small, or the large. I'm leaning toward the large one, and I'll tell you why. This small one I think is getting a bit lost in all the other glitter paper. This one has got a little bit more presence. Like that. So I think I'm gonna, in the absence of any comments, I'm going to go for this one, and we're going to put it on with some I need to stick this down first, don't I? I think I can use a little bit of liquid adhesive for this one. Yeah. Right. And I can't resist it. We've got to have some extra on. I don't know as I want the sequins. I think I'm gonna disregard. Yeah, I agree with you. The larger bow looks richer, doesn't it, Betty? I'm glad I went with that now. So there's these or there's those. And these kind of pick out the stars in there. So let's see. These are a bit on the pinky side. Yeah, I don't think they're going to go in either. And so, okay, by process of elimination, we're down to these. Right. And there's some big ones and there's some little ones, so maybe I'll have a little one as well. Just fill in a couple of the gaps. I got that one a bit wonky. They say about having 3s or 5s. I've never been quite sure why, but hey, there. I think I am now done. Okay, so here we have our card full of sparkle, and then inside we've got some holly leaves as well. And when I get an envelope, I'll have to go and buy some bigger envelopes, or make myself one, but I don't think I've got any cream paper, but I'll worry about that another time. So here is my card full of sparkle, and we featured this stamp set with the coordinating dies, and then our starting point was the beautiful papers and this lovely self-adhesive glimmer paper. Well, thank you, Betty. I'm glad that you like it. Okay, so there we have our card for today. Well, I hope you've enjoyed spending a little bit of time with me today. And if you have, perhaps go ahead, give me a thumbs up. If you don't already subscribe, you can subscribe to my channel. And if you share my videos, I would be really pleased with that as well. And I will look forward to seeing you next week with another idea of what we can do with paper. Well, thank you for joining me today. Bye-bye for now.